We are live. Welcome, welcome. Hello, ladies. My name is Taylor Thompson. We're coming here live in the She Network. So excited to talk to you ladies today. I got a really, really incredibly beautiful special guest here. And you're just like, let's just say the millionaire mom with 6 kids, right? If this one can do it, we have no excuses, right? No excuses. So as you ladies are coming on, let us know you're here. Let us say hi, give us some hearts, give us some loves. Let us know, drop a 1 if you're live, and let us know if you're coming in on replay too. So give us a big shout out. And also let us know if you're on StreamYard. Hello, Tara, all the way over from Ireland. Wow. Okay. So this is going to be real fun. Thank you for joining in and joining us today. So I have a beautiful special guest here, and I got a chance to hello. And make sure you let StreamYard know that it's you, give them permission to say your name, because otherwise this is what we see. See, it just says Facebook user. And I don't know who I'm saying hi to. So you just go up there and just scroll up and just click the little link, and it gives them permission. And then you can see your name, like Tara. See, now I know who we're talking to. Okay, awesome. Well, I am super excited. Somebody is saying hello, Lenika and Taylor. And so again, I would love to know who this is, but I don't. But hello, Facebook user, and beautiful face behind the words. So I met this lady just a few months back, and we actually met through a friend of a friend, and we connected with her and her amazing husband and their family and what they do. And I just could not wait to get her on to share her excellence with all of you ladies today. We're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about her. We're going to be talking about, yes, it's Nicole. Yes, my beautiful friend Nicole Vossler, who introduced us. She's on here supporting us. Thank you, Nicole. Love you. So she's such a connector, and her interview, in case you don't know Nicole, go back and watch. She interviewed back in July. Incredible story there. So, Lenika, how are you, my friend?
Hey, Taylor. I'm good. How are you doing?
I am blessed and highly favored. I can just tell you that one.
Yes, amen. So am I. Just grateful, to be in the land of the living, right?
Yes, ma'am. Well, ladies, Lenika, whenever I'm looking at her and I'm looking how she's just beautiful, all put together. Whenever I heard she was a mom of 6, I nearly fell out of my chair. I'm like, what? She is all put together. She's all beautiful, like mom of 6, wow. So then whenever she's like millionaire mom of 6, then I'm like, wow, we're really going to have to tap into that one. So I want to hear your story. I know there's a lot of ladies out there would love to know about you and hear about your success and your brand. So tell us how you got here, because I know it wasn't easy.
No, it definitely wasn't. Well, thanks again just for having me, Taylor, to the She Network, for all of you beautiful women that's out here that is pursuing your dreams and your goals, the very things that God has placed in your belly to pursue. And particularly even in the area of direct sales, multi-level marketing, network marketing. As Taylor was stating, we have 6 beautiful daughters, right? And we have a grand girl, right? So all girls and a grand girl, right? Girls love me and I love girls, right? So,
and I think and God bless, and you know what? And God bless Greg.
Yes,
right. It takes a special man to be a girl daddy.
I'm trying to put all of the babies up so you all can see.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just a large family. And to be honest, y'all, and I'm not saying that you got to have a lot of kids to make it big, in business, but I do contribute, my children to the success, because we have a huge why, right? It's such a huge why.
Yeah.
And some of my backstory, like so many other moms and women, I was that one that was working, and the babies kept coming. And so by the time we
So
were on.
let's go back. I mean, like, let's go back, like, because, like, what were you? I mean, like, were you and Greg? Were you like high school sweethearts, or how did you guys?
Okay, so you want to take it all the way back? Okay, yes. So I met.
I want to hear the whole scoop.
Yeah, the whole story. So I met my husband, my fine husband, right? He fine, y'all. It's still look 6'6". God sent me a tall, fine, handsome man. So he and I met when my freshman year in college. So he was at another college and I was at one, and then we ended up going to like a fraternity convention, and we met and we kicked it off, and then the rest was history. I was 18 years old. So it's been 25 years of marriage, 30 years of just being in each other's lives. And so then the children started to come early, which I started working, and I was one of those individuals who really wanted to be home with my children, after they were born. And so I stayed home.
What kind of work did you do? What was your work?
I majored in biology, chemistry. So I was in the labs as a lab analyst. Yeah, just
wow.
Yeah. So went to school, got a degree in biology, and so did get a job in my field. And I was one of those moms that really wanted to be home after the baby was born. So I would stay home for a couple of years, go back to work. And it was as if we just kept this cycle. Every time I would go back to work in my field, I get pregnant. And so bam, I was home again. So after repeating this a few times, right, in a few years and a few babies, after baby number 5, when I went back, she was the only one that I went back to work from after maternity leave, where I didn't stay home for a couple of years to just raise them. And it was miserable. I just remember my baby, 3 months old, back to work, leaving her 11 hours a day. Greg and I, at the time, we were working together. And so we commuted 8 hours, 1 hour for lunch break, 1 hour. I mean, we home. We were away from the home for 11 hours. So we commuted 1 hour to work, 1 hour back. So that's 2 hours. 1 hour for lunch was 3 hours, and 8 hours for a shift. So we were gone away from our other children for 11 hours a day.
Wow.
And I was like, more to this. I was making at the time about $50,000 a year. My job. This was about 12 years ago. And so most of the money that I was making was saying goodbye, going out of the door to daycare. And it was just ridiculous. And I've always been a woman of ambition. I've always been one to, let me just figure something out, like not afraid to take chances. And that's what we did. And I started my own daycare. Go figure, right? So now I'm keeping more children, and bam, pregnant again.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That's the story. So I can't do this anymore because I have now 3 small children at home, right? 2 in diapers, right? 1 just coming out of pull-ups. So I said, let me look again at the direct sales industry. Had heard about this industry years ago. In fact, Herbalife was our first introduction to this industry, responding from mom's work from home ad. And I went to one of those meetings, and bam, I was hooked. But there was always this reminder of what the industry could do, as I remember looking at the different speakers on the stages, the other moms that were able to stay home with their children, the men, right, who was talking about how this industry had transformed their life. And so I remembered that it was a seed that was deposited. It was a seed that was sown. And so that's what I did. I started my journey as a stay-at-home mom, working from home. And I just went all in. I mean, all in. I had my baby on my hip. I had that baby when I was on the laptop. I was answering the phone, had my headset, just connecting with other moms. That was my niche. Moms that wanted to also build a business and earn extra income at home. And within 1 year, after seriously getting started in the industry, my check for the month was the same as it was for the year. So when I left my corporate American job, it was $50,000 a year that I was earning. And in 1 month, we hit our highest month at that time. Now that was 2009, $55,000 $5,000 in 1 month. That was in 2009. And so, it was setting us up for the now. I do want to share with them, Taylor, that it was not still always easy, even getting to the 8 figures, because we've earned 8 figures since then, but it wasn't always easy to even get into that.
Well, let's talk about that, because you mentioned a lot of things that I really want to tap into. And the first thing is that, there's a lot of moms out there that come into this business because they catch a vision, they hear somebody's story, they go, wow, maybe that could be me. Because let's face it, I think it's a very rare exception that you don't have. Even women that are driven, there's something that changes whenever you hold the baby for the first time. Just mom drive takes over. And so then we spend all of our time because we're driven, but we do spend a lot of mom guilt in the process of the mission, because you're driven, but yet that almost like the mom thing takes over, like the mom gene. I don't know, right? But you said a couple of things, like you said, whenever you caught that vision, you did everything. It was on the laptop, holding the baby. And that's the thing that I want to really, make sure you didn't get to 50,000 a month by trying it. You went you preface that multiple times. I went all in. I went all in. I went all in. I went all in. And so for me, that means all in. That means like every spare moment between diaper changes and you were having a conversation with someone about your product or your opportunity, period, over and out. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yes. In between meals, in between feedings, in between poopy, potty, diaper changes, throw ups, right? There was me working, right? I stopped looking at TV. Okay. I wasn't sitting around, while I was cleaning, while I was changing diapers, while I was feeding the babies, I was on the phone or messaging someone about getting them to the call, putting them in front of the presentation, seeing if they were available for that night, or even those that I got to the call, put in front of the presentation, even following up with them to see, okay, are they ready? A lot of them, let me talk to my husband, let me talk to my spouse, let me see, okay, did you talk to your spouse? So there's that constant flow of getting new people, new eyes in front of what it is that you have. And yes, so in between mommy duties, all of that, right? Even during their nap times, getting on the phone with people. When they would wake up, we would play a little, have a little time. I'm not saying that everything was all work, but realistically, there was a lot of sacrifices that even during those younger years went into play to be able to build a business. So, because my thing was, I'm not going back to work, right?
Yeah.
I ain't going back to work.
Yeah, well, and so, and I know a lot of ladies are going to be asking, okay, so you talk to your moms. Moms was your niche, which was, I really connect with that, because I was always looking for other moms, because that was my heart. I knew that I could really connect with them, because I felt like they were like-minded like me, that they would be crazy not to want to make extra money and be, bring home to the family. But, how did you find your moms to talk to? Was it warm market? Were you doing, maybe give a few tips about that.
Yeah. So it was via social media. So back then, we had MySpace. Y'all remember MySpace when we started out, right? MySpace. And then Facebook, of course, when Facebook is still today one of the largest social media sites. So it was doing free ads. Now, all of this paid traffic or whatever, the algorithms may be a little messed up. But there was me putting out posts and inviting women who wanted to earn some extra income to allow me to share with them what I was doing. So just keeping it very simple. If you're looking for a way to earn an extra $100, I'm not telling people, you're looking for a way to earn an extra 100,000 a week, because that's we've seen that and more, right, at the stage we're in. So, if you're looking for a way to earn an extra $100 a day, $100, $500 a week, then I want to talk to you. And so in your video, in your stories, in your posts, where you're posting pictures with your family. I did a lot of lifestyle posting where people will see me with my family as well, and I was just getting them attracted and interested into me. And then after they was interested in me, then of course they was interested in what I had to offer them, which was ultimately my business.
Yes. Well, so that was in 2009. So that's been quite a while ago. So what since that time? I mean, like you can't tell me it's been all smooth sailing since 2009. Yeah.
Right. Well, no. So in this particular company that we were in, which was a health and wellness company, the company grew so fast, and what happened was it ended up crashing. The sales came down. So now we were stuck with a decision to make. Now I had retired Greg. We were both doing the business together. He left his job, and then the business.
How did you find that out? I mean, how did you find out like your company just imploded? Like, what?
Everything started just going haywire, right? And just the things just were not the production and the demand and the packages. Things just started getting messed up really fast. Volume started dropping, the sales started dropping, but it was an infrastructure thing. It was an internal thing. And so as a result of that, we lost everything.
Wow.
So that's a part of our story. Our story tailored also is from food stamps to millions, because we had built a great business, doing very well, had hit the top of a comp plan, was the highest paid earners in the state of North Carolina, and then everything crashed. And so I also provide hope to the people where they see success, but then for some reason something happened. And I'm also here to let you know, like, you can start from something or you can start from nothing. If you are determined that this thing was going to work, because I was always determined, I'm not going back to corporate America. Something is going to work. And I am going to use my resources and my God-given ability to talk to people and to connect. But for us, God was just setting us up. He was like,
I really want to, I wanted to really tap into the emotion piece of this, because, to be making that kind of money and to be I'll say the rug being pulled out from under you, your husband, your family. What was that like? What was that like? I mean, did you have people in your life like the naysayers that, I mean, to literally go from making that kind of, to go to food stamps, there had to have been a level of really, really swallowing your pride. I mean, let's talk about that.
Yeah, pride, swallowing your pride. The thing that you were sharing with people is no longer working anymore. The shame that is associated with that, where you have even college educated individuals that have done very well, even in their profession, now shift to doing very well in their network marketing business and even their company, right? Being the talk of the town, to now nothing. And it was very hard. There was a lot of mental attacks, the feeling of unworthy, the feeling of, can I lead? Right? Am I the leader who I thought that I was? And then there's this, we have mouths to take care, not to mention we had our 6 daughters, but we were also taking care of niece, because my sister was going through and she had to move back in, and she moved back in with us during a time where, because she was so used to us having and giving, but then she came back to us during a time when we didn't have, right? So there was a lot of raw emotion that was going on. There was a lot of questioning, even, am I making the right decision? Did I make the right decision? And because we are believers in a man and women of faith, of course, we sought God and we began to seek Him. Oh, what is this? What is this? And one thing that He shared with us, and this is what we've been sharing over the last even 7 years since we climbed back up to multimillionaire status, is, a lot of times things are sent not to break you, but to make you stronger. And for us, He showed us this is not really, he was pretty much saying, get yourself together. What you all are dealing with is really not for you, but it is for the people that I'm calling you to, because you got to understand that people need hope. They need to know that you can bounce back. They need to know that you can start, and even if everything is taken away from them, right, you can rebuild, you can overcome, you can come back. And that was the lesson in it. So no matter what it looks like, no matter what is going on in the bank account, you can still build a business. And you can.
This is so good. This is so good because, the thing about it is what you just said is that, first of all, like you started, then you got there, and then the rug's pulled out. Now you have all these eyes on you, more so than ever. And now what are you going to do with it? Mm-hmm. Because whenever you're in the valley, whenever you're the lowest of the lowest, like you definitely have to have faith, for sure. You have to have some mental, that all of that mindset stuff, what you've been training for. Now it's time to place it where the rubber meets the road, and apply it. And such a light, such a leading by example, because there's nothing any harder than picking yourself up by your bootstraps and going having a positive conversation whenever the bill collectors are chasing you down, blowing up your phone, right? Mm-hmm. And you're trying to keep the positive mental attitude, getting a new customer and getting a new team member, trying to tell them this is this is the way to do it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Wow. Such a powerful story. So, and then you gotta keep it all together with your business. And then you got to keep all the mindset together with the personal, because you're working with your spouse, and then you got the kids and there's so much there. I'm just like, that's incredible story. I hope you guys are tapping into and feeling what I'm feeling here. So now you started this journey again, because that I know, you said something that was also very important. You said you're not going to go back. You made the decision that this was the way, that you were going to figure it out. You were not going to give up. And so many people, I think, do not walk into this kind of business with that kind of mindset. That you can do it until, right? And I think that there's some magic, and there's a testimony in that phrase right there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And one thing that we had just trained our team on here recently, when you keep applying the pressure, it's going to break. Like something is going to break when you keep applying the pressure. And we've seen so many people, come into this industry, this business model, and they're gone after, 2 months. It's like, what is that all about? 6 months. Like, will it work if you don't give it your all, and also determine that this will work? Like, something is going to work, right? So if I keep repeating the steps, and if I keep putting in the time, and if I keep showing up, then it's gonna work. And that's what we did.
I love it. So this is you started, you lost it, and then you started with another company, and this is the company that you're currently with. Right. And so what year did you start with your company that you're with now?
Yeah, so 2013. So it's been almost 7 years. We started at the end of the year in 2013. Yeah, and we were actually in a unique position, if I could say, where we helped to launch the products in the United States of America. And the company just grew global. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we work now. We put in a lot of work.
Well, and and so it's paying off for you, and you're having impact on other people, other people's lives with not only with the product, but also with the opportunity. But I know that you're also doing some other things too. Would you mind sharing with the ladies like what you're doing? Because we talked about that you're like the coaching aspect of what you're implementing within not just with your team, but it's open to every lady that wants to participate. Can you want to talk about that and talk about like what you're like kind of the things that you're doing and how you're serving the ladies?
Yeah, so I have a program and it is so awesome because the community that has been created is really built toward, of course, uplifting, empowerment, but also results, right? I'm a results type of person. I'm a businesswoman. I feel like if it's not making money, it's not making any sense. So a lot of people had wanted to connect with me, not just with my company. So I said, well, let me devise a plan because, some women that follow me, they're in different companies. And I'm the type too, where I'm not encouraging people leave your company just to work with me. So a lot of women, they were wanting to work with me. So what I teach them on Facebook marketing. I've developed a lot of skill and success using Facebook, and that's with building a business, right? So whether it's direct sales or network marketing, I'm attracting people to you, right? Which also goes into branding, right? Looking really good online because your brand, your image is everything, right? How to stand out online, what makes you unique, what is your story, right? What is your brand saying to people? Will people keep coming back for your brand? Also teaching them how to close the deal. But then most importantly, breakthrough in business. I do firmly believe, Taylor, that many times people don't see results in the natural because there's some blockages there. It could be some things that they're holding in their heart, could be some things going on in the past that they've not let go, trauma, issues like that. So we deal with those types of things. So the coaching program that I have, it is a community of women. We come together. They definitely get my coaching, and I do live sessions with them, but then also line items helping them to achieve their results. So it's been really awesome. We're having a great time. And also as an entrepreneur, you do need other streams. So it is also another stream of income outside of my company.
I
More
love
specific to my brand. Yep.
So maybe this is something that you would like to come in and teach some of the ladies here in the She Network, like some of your tips and tricks on marketing on Facebook, and that would be awesome. I'm sure that they would be like super excited to hear that.
Yes, I would love that.
So give the ladies, like if you were giving them, words of wisdom today, like somebody listening in that doesn't know you and, from whether it's, about parenting, whether it's about entrepreneurship, what would you want them to walk away with? What would you want to empower them with today?
Yeah, so what I want to empower you all with is you have a unique story. God made you different for a reason. And one thing that I share often is your message isn't for everyone, but your message is for someone. But you got to get out there, right? You've got to get out there by doing lives, video, stories, posting, letting the world know who you are, right? Letting you know who you are. And the people that are called to you, they will be attracted to you. So remember that your message isn't for everyone, but your message, it is for someone. And then one of my quotes, Taylor, that I came up with when I first got started, this is when I was making about $500 a month early on. Yes, this was around 2009. And that quote is, success doesn't happen overnight, but success comes from the small things that are consistently done over time. Let me repeat it one more time. Success doesn't happen overnight, but success comes from the small things that are consistently done over time. So in those small things, getting up, right? Starting your day, gratitude, right? Then connecting with new people, okay? You're going to get up again the next day, the same thing, but you're doing little by little, right? There's a scripture that even talks about that success being generated little by little. So not always in the big things, but it's the small things that make the big things. Remember, Rome wasn't built overnight. And so if you learn how to apply the pressure, but be very consistent in what it is that you do, and that's what I know have been one of the leading factors that have contributed us to being eight-figure earners, is those small things done little by little, but over time.
I love that, because I mean, my phrase is I love to use is like big doors swing on small hinges.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's and Larry's always taught me it's like a day at a time and a brick at a time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so many people, so many think, they want this overnight success, and there's just no such thing.
Come on.
There's just no such thing. But if you just be patient and do everything that you can do today,
Yes.
That's where the magic is, and be consistent with it. And I mean, then the building gets built.
Come
right?
on. That's it.
The building gets built. I love that. It's a lot of nuggets in that phrase alone, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So let's let's say like you're talking to some moms out there, like what kind of advice? I mean, as a mom of 6 girls, right? I mean, Larry and I have 6 girls between us.
Oh,
right?
wow. Yeah, I remember that.
But I have 3 and he has 3. So that's but I can't even imagine having 6 of my own. That's so crazy. But what would the mom that's trying to, do her business and, trying to do all of the things, being a good mom and trying to be an entrepreneur, what kind of words of wisdom would you share with her today?
Yes, breathe. It's going to be okay. You do definitely want to make sure that you are one thing that a lot of people will have me to say, well, teach me on balance, right? And to be honest, I don't know if that can be taught, because like for me, my life really was not balanced during some of the times when I was building. Things were out of order, right? But that was okay with me, right? During the times when things were out of order, for me, I was okay with them being out of order because I knew what I wanted to accomplish. But for the moms who, you're really structured and you have a schedule, then keep it, right? Keep yourself, right, in that flow. Keep your schedule right for your sanity. Some people need it for their sanity. And so what I would just encourage you to do is just don't deviate from the plans that you set for yourself. If this is family time, then let it be family time. No calls, no presentations, no team calls, no helping your team. Let it be family time. But for the times when there are presentations, when you do have to show up, when you have to show up for training, when you do have to show up for help, let it be that. And so you dictate. One of the beautiful things about this industry is that you are a business owner where you get to create and dictate your schedule. And so don't deviate from that. And it goes back to the small things, right? Putting the weight on it. And so that's one of the things.
I love I think this is such wise wisdom, because I've always said, like, women, I call it the pleasure pain principle.
Uh-huh.
And it's, it's one of those things, like whenever you're with your kids, you have the pleasure of being with your kids, but you have the pain of not doing your business. And so you're not really there with the kids, even though that's the designated time, because your mind is on business.
Yeah.
But then whenever it's business time, you have the pleasure of working on your business, but the pain of not being with your children. And then you have mom guilt because you're building a business and you're not with your kids. Yeah. So this right here, Lenika, is such words of wisdom for all moms, and really being intentional with your time. And wherever you are, be there. And because if you're not intentional with your time, I promise you will be double-minded all the time.
That's it.
And so I just say, just be intentional with every moment and be in the moment and be there. Wherever you are, be there.
Right. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so now you said, what you use the phrase boss up. You can boss up. What does that mean to you? Boss up.
You said I used the word boss up. Oh, really? Did I?
I think that's what they sent me. Like they said, so I thought that's what you said. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna see what means by boss up. I don't know. Like,
well, definitely, I know how to do that on all aspects. But I mean, it just really means showing up for yourself, right? Taylor, I was thinking about how so many times we are so okay with taking orders from from a boss or supervisor, but yet we don't discipline ourselves enough to do that, right? So I would have to just even say, what does it mean to me? It says, I am going to take full responsibility of what I bring to the table, full responsibility of what I can do, full responsibility of what I can show, and full responsibility that I am going to be disciplined enough to be a boss.
There you go. Okay, so that you nailed it right there. I mean, like if I was going to give away a gold star, I'd certainly be giving away on that answer, because I can tell you so many times, like, dealing with distributors, like not very many people want to take responsibility for where they are in their life and their business. And so, you have to learn how to be a boss.
I did. And that's one thing too, that I would say, starting out from the gate, I never put my success in my sponsor's hand. Never. And I think that was another thing that separated myself from it hands down. It will separate you from 6 figures to 7 figures to also 8 figures. That responsibility that this is my organization. Everything that I do, it starts with me, right? Everything that you do, it starts with you. And so even coinciding with the bossing up, that mentality.
Now that was a mic drop right there, because I will say that right there is so many times people get into it, and then if their business isn't going where they want it to go, then they were like, well, my upline hasn't called me, or, they don't do very much to support me. Well, it doesn't matter. They introduced you to the business, and that's it. That's enough.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That's enough.
You can do everything. Like, we have calls, even today, we have a leadership call, and there are people who don't show up, that they have access and they're willing to show up, right? And and so again, everything that you do, it starts from you.
I love it. Such strength, such power, such wisdom. I love it. So, so you gave us a quote. So let's talk about, like, obviously you have a very strong mindset. Is there like maybe a book that you're reading, or like is like maybe your go-to book, like whenever you need like a pick-me-up? Do you have like a go-to, or you have something that you would like to share with the ladies right now that could be a little
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, you asked me that question too before, like my favorite book, and it is the Word of God. Hands down, it is. That's not cliche. It is, right? But I am currently reading a book. I was looking around for
because aren't you like, I'm just going to take a minute. You are a minister, right?
I'm a marketplace minister, but I'm not a religious person, right? I say that like I'm not. My husband and I, you wouldn't look at us and say, oh, they look like ministers, right? We love to travel. We love food. We love to eat. We love money, right? To be a blessing. We love to be blessed so that we can be blessed, right? But yeah, I am. But I was looking, I was reading a book, and I shared it with even our leadership group. It's a very small book, a short read, called The Frequency of Wealth. Wealth has a frequency, and that's one thing that recently God spoke to me. He said, wealth has a frequency, and I was like, really, God? So I heard. So I went to Amazon, and there, sure enough, there was a book, and this book, it is so awesome. I just want to read before we get off just a couple of things where it talks about how it is.
Oh my gosh, I love your glasses.
You do?
Yes. Are those prescription? Are those readers?
they're readers, but they're a little, they cost a couple of dollars.
Okay, you have to share your source. I love those.
Yeah. So in this book, he talks about like your energy is everything, and you are a vibrational being living on a vibrational universe. Wealth has a frequency. It is the wealth frequency is streaming all the time. So will you be able to like tap in? It says, in fact, wealth, health, peace, and harmony are all far more real, abundant than the other, meaning so wealth is more real than lack, right? Mm-hmm. So also health is more real than sickness. This is when you attune into these frequencies of the reality, they will appear in your experience. In other words, when I tune into it and I know that there's an abundance and I know that there's prosperity, but it's also for me, right? I accept it, right? It will begin to be drawn onto me. It talks about your emotions tell you the frequency that you are emitting. So I'm going to just stop right there. Let me just give a couple of tips. So if I feel, so even for my husband and I, in order for us to get out of that space, that down place, that dark place, that wilderness, we had to reject it. In other words, we had to make up our mind. This isn't how the story is going to end. This is not our reality. Our reality is build a legacy for our children. Our reality is to attract wealth. Our reality is to build something. Our reality is to prosper. Like even the word of God says, beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in good health, even as thy soul prosper. See, you asked me about me in a minister. Now I didn't shift it into a whole nother thing.
Okay.
Mind, the will, the emotions, your mind, your will, your emotions, your mind. As a man thinketh in his heart, and so is he. What are you thinking? Do you believe that you can have success? Do you can believe that you can be a top leader in your company? Do you believe that when the pandemic things shut down and things open back up, that you will be the one that will receive some rings? Do you believe that you can help pull other people out? In order for us to get to multimillionaire status, we also had to help some people get to millionaire status, right? Do you believe that you can lead other people? Do you believe that you are worthy? Right, talking about that feeling, the emotions, the mind, what are you thinking? What's in your heart? Right. And so all of these things go hand in hand to attractive. So this book, although I just not all in the book, it just comes from me walking in this for years of experience. But this book that I'm reading right now called The Frequency of Wealth. It is a very short read. You can grab on Amazon. So that's one of the books outside of the Word of God that I dig into.
So frequency, who's this? Oh, by the way, that was so powerful. Who is the author of that book?
Brenton Mix.
So I mean, what you said really plays into, and I don't know if you watched the last interview that I did a couple of weeks ago with Robin Braun, and she is a really, really good friend of mine, but I was introduced to her because she had written the book, The Believer's Guide to the Law of Attraction. So it was the Law of Attraction foundationally built with the scripture, right? Like, because that is like law of attraction, which is your frequency. That is your frequency. Who are you attracting? What kind of mindset? And that's why I brought that up whenever you were in the valley, whenever you were in the pit. So many times whenever you are in that place, all your people do is look down in the circle they're standing in, and they can't move out of it because they can't see out. They can't see forward. They don't have a vision in front of them, and their mindset is shut down. Their frequency is low. And so mindset, Larry's book is getting ready. You guys tune in. Tomorrow we're launching Larry's book on our page. I'm so excited. One of the chapters in his book, The Millionaire Training, 40 years of accolades, but one of the chapters in there is the mental projector. Think about that being talked about 40 years ago, the mental projector. So if you don't like your life, you got to change the film and the projector. That's really what we're talking about. Right? Did I lose you, Lenika?
That's it.
Yeah. So I I loved what you were saying. I loved your excitement and your passion because it's so true. It's so foundational, and loved the information that you've poured into the ladies today. I can't wait for you to share your training for the She members here. You know, I know that you're going to be teaching on your Facebook magic, I'm sure, or something amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe you can teach. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you're going to teach us about scriptures. I don't know. It's going to be fun no matter what. I do know that. But
some business stuff. I teach some business stuff. The scripture is going to always come out naturally, but I teach some business stuff.
Okay. Well, I just want to thank you for taking out time from your family, from your business today to come on and share your story and share your excellence here with the ladies. It's been such a fun time. Any final words that before we say goodbye?
No, what I wanted my free 30 days affirmations, and they can grab them from millionairemomgiveaway.com. And I can also just pop the link below so that they can see them there. They'll be able to grab a copy. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Okay. Yes, absolutely.
And then just also that they can do it. You can build a business, you know, whatever. We all successful people, we have different battles that we deal with, but we press through them, right? And so just whatever it is that you may be dealing with, right? Any doubts or feelings of, you know, inadequacy, you can press through those things and you can build a business. There are people, yeah, I think it's freezing a bit.
Can you hear me okay? I think we're getting low on signal here. Can you still hear me okay, Lenika? Oh no. Did we lose you? You're frozen on me. So ladies, I'm going to give her a chance to come back on. So ladies, chime in anytime, Lenika, that you come back. Did I get you? Oh God.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear it?
Okay, good.
Yeah, so we probably need to go ahead and say bye. Thank you, everyone.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Lenika, for sharing. I'm going to say bye to you privately, but ladies, thank you so much for being here. You have a blessed, amazing Tuesday. Mwah.
Bye-bye.